Megyn Kelly.
Start your morning.
It is a nice way to start. It's Wednesday, November 9th, 2016. My co-host today is Megyn Kelly, everybody. Straight from the front lines, let's get into it. Let's get into it. We have a new president of the United States. Donald J. Trump is the president of the United States.
Well, president-elect.
President-elect of the United States, right? Correct. I'm going to break it down by covers of newspapers here, and I think that this is sort of like representative of what we're hearing across the country. So we have the New York Post, then we have the Daily News.
Yeah.
House of Horrors.
They're not a fan.
Right? Then we have the Wall Street Journal, which shows you sort of really, I think, how people felt last night. You know, there were two sides. There was this enthusiasm and this nervousness, no matter where you were. Mm-hmm. And of course, the New York Times has it down to the wire, says Newsday. Everybody was really sort of watching this election and the returns come in. And I've never seen a race, and you can get into this because you were really there broadcasting it, where they were, it seemed like counting, usually like they will call an election right away. Mm-hmm. It seemed like this was, they were waiting until 90% of the votes were counted.
Well, I mean, in prior elections, last time around, 4 years ago, we called it in the 11 o'clock hour for Barack Obama. So we kind of figured we'd be calling it in the 11 o'clock hour. And what happens is you sit down for the exit polls, the first round of them at 5 p.m.
Right.
And that's when you first get, you know, a hint of how the night is going to go. And it was all bad news for Donald Trump in that first round. It was like, it's going to be a rough night for Donald Trump. Looking good for Hillary Clinton, probably going to call it for her in the 11 o'clock hour. This is happening at news agencies around the country based on the exit polls that we've been getting so far. And so this happened at all the news agencies. You go out there, you start anchoring the show, you start seeing the results, then suddenly the real vote starts coming in. And it was similar to what we saw in the lead-up, which was what we'd been told by the pollsters was not matching the sentiment of the American people.
Okay, so how do the pollsters get it so wrong? How did they get it that wrong? Because I was telling you backstage that I had people over at my house, and I know a lot of people had people over at their houses, and they were all watching in large viewing parties. And then within our group, everybody had some pollster on the inside in their group. Yep. So, and they were all giving us and everyone I knew incorrect information. So,
well, what they think so far is that there really was a hidden Trump vote. You know, you heard some people talk about the hidden Trump vote. And the reason they say that happened is because when the pollsters called up and figured out if you were a likely voter, they weren't counting enough Trump voters who really were going to come to the polls this time. People who didn't go in 2012 got ruled out as not likely voters, but that they felt differently about Trump and said, I'm going to get there. And the other thing was some people felt stigmatized about voting for Donald Trump and didn't want to tell the pollsters who they were going to vote for, and yet they did want to go into the polling booth and do what they felt was right. And so, I mean, it was a resounding victory. There's no question about it. When we were seeing these states come in, we're sitting out there, and Chris Wallace was to my left and Brett Baer was to my right, and there was a moment around 8:40 or 9 o'clock at night where Wallace said, Donald Trump could actually win this thing, right? And then a light bulb goes off and people like, holy, blank. Right. Because it wasn't at all what we had been told.
Yeah, right.
You know, by these pollsters, by virtually every pollster except for basically that LA Times poll that consistently showed Trump ahead because they only surveyed one group of voters the entire time. They never did random. It was like we took everybody in the audience. We just kept asking you for the entire election
over and over again. Oh,
so you didn't have any shame. You didn't really care. It's like, I've told Megyn 5 times, so I'm voting for him, to tell her again.
Wow.
So they got it right.
How many elections have you covered, and have you ever seen anything quite like this in terms of pollsters not really hitting the mark?
Well, I mean, in 2004, the exit polls were dead wrong, too. They said John Kerry was going to win.
Right,
Same round of 5 o'clock polls said Kerry's got it locked up.
I remember.
And Karl Rove tells the story of having to break that news to George W. Bush. Like, but it worked out okay for him. Same thing happened last night. I've been on the air doing elections for Fox since 2006. I've never seen anything like this, and I don't think we're ever going to see anything like this in our lifetimes. I think you'll never have a result this shocking where people got it this shockingly wrong.
It's so interesting. I'm looking out in the you don't have an audience at your studio.
No, okay, I have like 4 people in the studio.
This is exciting. I know. So I'm like staring out at the audience, and I've been trying to sort of take the temperature, you know, just sort of out in the universe today, and everybody has sort of the same look on their face, and I can't quite put my finger on it.
Stunned?
Stunned. It says, is that what it is? Hello?
But you know what? It's after all of these elections, half the country is severely disappointed, and half the country is thrilled. Right? This happened 4 years ago as well, and it all winds up being okay. You know, so for the people who feel upset today, this is the United States of America, and it's the most glorious place to live in the world.
I hope that we can all sort of move forward and go back to treating each other with a little kindness and a little dignity, because I feel like a lot of that during this electoral process, watching not just people disagree on the front lines of this election, but watching people on the news go after each other, and watching people in the hallway go after each other, and you just think, my gosh, we wouldn't talk to our worst enemies this way, and we're talking to each other this way. It's,
you know, I think it's helpful in life and in politics to try to perceive the other person through the most generous lens. And if people can perceive Donald Trump through that lens now and give him the benefit of the doubt, and if the Trump supporters can start to perceive the other half of the country in that same way, maybe there'll be, I'm not going to say a healing moment, but perhaps something a little bit more positive. I will say this. You know, love him or hate him, he's the president-elect of our country. And the one thing he needs more than anything right now is our prayers.
Oh, my gosh.
And good wishes for a strong performance. He's got a lot to deal with. And so even if, you know, that's one of the things that makes us great, is we go through this electoral process, we get battered and bruised, but at the end of it, we do accept the result. We get behind our president. We can fight still. You know, there can be disagreements on policy. You can criticize positions or language or, you know, certain statements, but we all share the same basic core values as Americans, and that's what we should focus on, I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you feel like singing Kumbaya, or is this just...
I do, okay. I do. No, I just, like I said yesterday, was very thrilling for me because my son voted for the first time in an election, and when you know, and it's... When that happens, when you get to not only, like, your kids are still small, so it's all ahead of you, but when you see your child grow up and, like, comes home from college so we can go together to vote, it was just a very, it was major for me. It was a big day. I felt so proud of him. Yeah. And so this is what makes America great, is that we have the ability to have our voices heard. And it doesn't matter where you fall politically. This is our franchise, and we are so lucky because that people fought to give us these rights that we have.
That's right. If you look at the situation, you've got so many, in particular, white working-class voters who felt completely forgotten over the past decade or more.
Right.
And those people do feel heard today, and that's worth something. It's worth something that they feel heard. And I think for the folks who are severely disappointed, because there are many who are severely disappointed, and some even scared about a Trump presidency, I think keep an open mind, see what he does, and my philosophy in hard times, or anytime you feel sort of blue or threatened or scared, is remember who you are. You know, what happens in the White House does not affect who you are, who your children are, what's most important to you in your life.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you hold on to that core through any difficult time, it helps you navigate.
So, do you guys, have you had enough of the election? Should we move on and talk about it?
Show tonight.
No, I'm just no, don't worry. They'll return for your show. I promise. I promise. I just know that I know this audience, and this audience is like, okay, that's not.
I came to have fun. Okay. I'm not having any.
Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now, because young Megyn Kelly doesn't have teenagers yet, but my favorite newspaper.
We're the same age.
I know. I understand that, but trust me, trust Grandma right now. I have children who are teenagers, which means that I am now aging in dog years. Do you understand? So listen to this. I want to teach you how to argue with a teen, because the Personal Journal has something very helpful here. It's going to teach us how to argue with a teen. Try this at home, they say. Try this at home when trying to get your cell phone, your child's cell phone away from them. This is something that I have going on in my house on a nightly level. The kids know at bedtime they are to hand me their devices, their electronic devices, because there's been studies that it keeps kids awake even when they're not on. It keeps them up, just the anxiety, right? So try this at home, it says. How to argue with a teen. Mom says, time to turn your phone off. Teen says, but I just need to finish this game and all my friends get up to stay up later. 5 minutes later, Mom comes in and says, you need to sleep. Remember, we've already agreed that this is the time the phone goes off. You know the consequences. No phone tomorrow. That's a stupid rule. You never let me do anything. You're mean. Mom says, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but that's not how we talk to each other in this family. If you keep using disrespectful language, the conversation is over. Teen grumbles, rolls eyes, but acquiesces. Now listen, Wall Street Journal, I love you, but I don't know what teenagers you're talking. I don't know what mystery household you're in and what magical teenagers you're talking to. But none of this is how it goes down. Okay? Now, if you want to call me, and I will certainly have the actual conversation of what is really said with you.
Let's hear it. How does it go?
Okay. It's
the dramatic reenactment.
It starts with me tossing the room like a prison warden, because I know there's a hidden device that I haven't found yet, right? I know because I just know. So I find the hidden cell phone that is buried underneath a pillow, deep within the bed, below the thing, under the thing, plugged into a thing, and I go, an iPhone 2? Right? And I confiscate it. You're so cruel. I have perfect grades. Perfect grades. And I go, let's define perfect for a second. Can we define perfect? And then we get into how I'm the cruelest mom, I'm a busybody, I should...
All right, now, explain this to me, though, because in my fantasy world, I was raised by sort of no-nonsense parents, and so in my fantasy world, the way this is going to go when my kids hit this age is, give it to me right now. Right now. Go to bed. And then I'm out of there. I'm having a glass of wine on the sofa.
No.
Is that not...
Usually you come in with the wine bottle in your hand.
The cork in your mouth.
And you're screaming much louder than that. And the language is more colorful. And there are usually threats of some kind or another. And, but then you still have to toss the room because they have hidden devices. I don't know where they come from. I don't know what eBay they're shopping on behind my back, but they all, but it's none of it goes that way. And you try to say, give it to me right now. And I do. And I always wind up getting the devices back. But I've witnessed a flashlight on where like the door creaks open and I see a flashlight and there's a crawling across the floor and I go, turn on the light and I go, what are you doing? I just need my computer. I really need to finish my homework assignment. At 3 in the morning? I don't think so.
What about the laws of natural consequences, which is, you know, like I've got a 5-year-old and now it's getting cold and she doesn't want to wear the leggings to go to school. She wants to just wear the dress. And I said, but it's going to be 40 degrees today. And she's out and it's like, okay, go. You're going to freeze. Good.
Right.
So what happens if you just let them stay up until 3 in the morning looking at the iPhone 2 and, you know, they're grumpy the next day and they don't have the assignment done?
They don't get into college and they live forever and they live with you forever. You know what forever means?
You never get rid of them.
Never get rid of them. Listen, I want to be an empty nester. Here's why. Rob Lowe told me in no uncertain terms that once your kids leave the house, it is all nude all the time.
Whoa, really?
He said, Kelly, we have not put clothes on since the kids left for college.
Okay, but you are Kelly Ripa, so you're looking forward to that. I'm thinking like...
No. Oh, yeah,
okay.
yes.
All right.
Yes.
Right, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, nobody wants to see it. Well, I can tell you right now, there are several men in the audience.
Let the illusion live. We'll just leave it at that.
There's some women, too, going, no, I'll take a peek.
So it starts with a beautiful product called Spanx. You're well aware. If you can put on a little self-tanner, it takes off like 10 pounds instantly. That's killer.
It is. Self-tanner is the universe.
Right?
Yeah.
It does everything you want it to do.
If I went to Survivor Island and they'd be like, what's your thing that you took? I'd be like, oh, I took self-tanner.
See, whenever people ask me that question, I always feel uncomfortable when they're like, what's your one like makeup item that you would take if you went to the desert island? And I'm like, well, foundation and eyeliner and concealer and I mean, like I can't, and bronzer. I can't limit it to one, which must mean something bad about me.
Well, no, it just means you're on camera. Think about when you're not on camera. Do you wear a stitch of makeup?
Hell yes.
You do?
What am I, a barbarian?
I must be a barbarian. Oh my God.
Honestly, and being on TV only exacerbates the problem because I'll give you an example. Sitting here right now, I'm so glad that you're seeing me from the left because this is my only good side. I'm hideous from the right. Don't look. I look good on the left, like I nailed it on the left.
Okay, can I tell you? Okay.
But over here, this poor audience over there is like, we know.
So we should only pose for photos together because I have opposite good side that you have.
It's
now,
perfect.
Andy Cohen and I have the same good side, and when we pose for photos together, it's like we're at the prom. Like we pose, nobody's willing to release the good side. But now I'm going to tell you a story that I've never told anyone, so dial in. It's the day after the election, so we're all in it together. I got bad Botox about, what was it, a year ago?
Who's counting?
Okay, who's counting? And it was bad. And it did something to my good side. So then I had 2 bad sides.
Oh, no.
No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. So I won't talk about it beyond that, but it's starting to, like, I'm starting to look like myself again, but there was about a 6-month period where people were like, what's wrong with Kelly? She doesn't smile anymore. And I'm like, I am smiling. I'm smiling.
Being in the public eye is so fun, isn't it? Honestly, I had a photo shoot not long ago for this magazine, and I was like, well, you know, my left side is definitely more attractive than my right side. And at first, the photographer was very nice, like, oh, no, you're beautiful. And then by the end, he was like, more profile, more. I left feeling like Phantom of the Opera. I was like, oh, my God, it's so much worse than I thought. What happened in utero? Like, my mom, I'm like, Mom. She's like, oh, I only smoked in the last trimester. I could have been at NASA.
I've got to say, I'm looking at you right now, and because I love a good side, bad side, I think you look very symmetrical. Oh
my God, so asymmetrical.
I'm telling you.
Don't clap. That diminishes your earlier applause.
No, I'm telling you. I think you look symmetrical. I'll let you know. Trust me. I'll put my glasses right on and get ready.
Well, she's right. She is up in there, isn't she? Wow, so early.
No, it's very funny. When I first met my husband, and I remember he was driving the car, and I was sitting next to him thinking, he's looking at my bad side, and he thinks I'm a monster.
Can I tell you something on that same score? So my husband, when we were first getting together, and you know, we first had a lovely night. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
And you're having sort of that intimate moment where you're sharing something, and I said to him, I was getting ready to sort of lay out all my flaws for him, just to see if he would accept me, despite them.
It's so helpful the way women do that.
Right, of course.
Let me read this book for you out loud and turn the page faster in case you can't keep up.
Right. And then they've signed on. They're stuck with it.
Right.
And I said, so do you have anything about yourself that makes you feel like insecure in any way, or anything you feel? And he was like, no.
Yeah.
Like, me neither.
Well, that's good. At least you did that.
He's just learning about the bad side right now.
That's good. That's good that you did that, because I just laid it. I was like a gumball machine. I was like, and then there's this I don't like, and that I don't like, and I also hate this. You'll hate it too. You'll see. You'll see. We have a huge show today.
This is exciting. Yeah, we do.
This is here. From the series Secrets and Lies, Michael Ealy's here.
And we have a performance by country music star Cam, who's amazing.
Oh, wait. Cover your... Is that vodka or water?
I don't... You tell me.
Okay.
Information was missing.
Yeah. Okay, it's time for Lives a Party Travel Trivia.
Is exactly like Fox News.
Megyn was just saying they don't have any of this at Fox.
We are doing it all wrong.
I was going to tell you something. I was going to say take some of this stuff home, but guess what? During commercial break, men come out here and put all of this back into bags and reuse it tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's really
You got to work on a budget. I understand that.
Yeah, but I mean...
Come on. Can you imagine? This is what we should have done, like after the election results or certain states were called. Like...
This should be the electoral map. It's like that, right? We're fine.
Who wouldn't watch it?
Our trivia dancer is Tyler Pauly from Pittsburgh, New York. Good job. Let's see who's on the phone. Bonnie Jean Bellavance from San Diego, California. You want to take her off?
All right, let's see.
There, Megyn.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yep, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it?
Hey, Bonnie.
Good morning, Kelly. Good morning, Megyn.
Hi.
Oh, what's that? You got a fish there.
I did.
Cool. Did you catch it yourself?
I certainly did. I love the fish.
Me too.
It was this big.
I wish it was bigger.
So, Bonnie, what do you do for a living?
I'm a veterinary technician.
Oh, cool.
Very nice.
So you could
I love
probably
animals.
you could bring that fish back to life if you wanted.
Well, it was catch and release.
Yeah. Oh, it was catch and release.
Oh, very nice. But is there a way of doing that where you get the hook in the mouth without killing the fish? Because I've had a bad history in this department.
Yeah, there is a way.
She doesn't have time to explain it. It's there. Google it.
The person I'm fishing with, they take it off the hook and put it back.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Good to know.
Listen, we're going to spin the wheel, see what you're playing for, okay?
Great.
Hey, the St. James's Club, Morgan Bay in St. Lucia, everyone.
That sounds spectacular. That's right.
7 days, 6 nights in a 1-bedroom ocean view suite.
That sounds amazing. All inclusive, which is exactly what you want. You don't have to deal with,
don't want to have to deal
hassle
with
checks.
Yes, exactly.
Drinks and so on. It's provided by
Hotels.com.
In part.
It's a prize valued at $8,300. You have 20 seconds and only one guess. Good luck, Bonnie Jean.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ready?
Ready?
Okay, deep breath. Tony Goldwyn appeared on yesterday's show. What number wedding anniversary did Tony say he would be celebrating in April?
His 30th.
Yeah.
Congratulations. You and a guest will enjoy 7 days and 6 nights at the St. James's Club, Morgan Bay. The St. James's Club, Morgan Bay is set amid 25 acres of colorful hillside gardens on the northern coast of St. Lucia. This all-inclusive beachfront resort offers stunning ocean and garden views, nightly entertainment, 4 restaurants, and a host of land and water activities, including 4 freshwater pools, tennis, sailing, kayaking, and more. Your prize is valued at approximately $8,300.
Bonnie Jean, congratulations.
Thank you. And fishing.
Okay. Now you get to help make the day of a lucky member of our studio audience who will receive 5-year subscription to Netflix with a streaming device valued at more than $500. So please pick a number between 1 and 166.
Lucky number 27.
Still ahead on Live, a performance by country star Cam. We'll open up the inbox to your comments and questions. And coming up next, from Secrets and Lies, Michael Ealy.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. On tomorrow's show from the new film Arrival, Amy Adams will be here.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Also from the World Series champion Chicago Cubs, Kyle Schwarber.
Wow.
Schwarber. Can you tell I'm not a sports fan?
I mean, and hey, listen, somebody who is a sports fan, Alex Rodriguez will be here. He'll be my co-host.
He's amazing. He is such a cool guy. Yeah. We got caught on a red rope line with him, and we were waiting to get into a place, and, and my husband and I are looking like...
What's a red rope line?
You know, like you can't get into the fancy club. It's swanky.
What kind of club was this that you couldn't get into?
It was actually very funny. It's the Boom Boom Room here in New York. And I was like, I've never been. And Doug, my husband's like, you threw me my 40th birthday party there. I'm like, oh, okay, I forgot that. But there we were on the rope. You know, we couldn't get in, and kind of feeling like losers. And there was A-Rod next to us. We're like, we're fine.
Oh, losers
A-Rod can't get in.
Oh, that's good. That's exciting.
You can ask him if he remembers that.
Okay, let's see. He's starring in ABC's whodunit drama Secrets and Lies. Please welcome the talented and gorgeous, he sure is, Michael Ealy. Well, well, well. Yes.
Hello. Thank you.
You know, I thought what we would do is just take a moment and just look at Michael.
Who has no bad side.
Yeah, no bad side. No bad side on that face.
Nothing.
Now listen, we saw you posted a picture of a billboard of yourself right in the middle of Times Square.
Yes.
And you reflected on what it took to get there. It was really interesting.
Yeah, you know, it was funny. My cousin actually took that picture. She's a flight attendant. She was in town, and she saw me on the Jumbotron, I think outside of the ABC building in Times Square. And it was a promo for Secrets and Lies. And when I saw it, it just reminded me, like, not that mama I made it moment, but it was more of a moment like, I remember walking through Times Square as a young actor, talking to myself. Like, because I was reciting my lines for an audition thinking this was the one that's going to change my career. And there's a lot of us roaming the streets of New York City doing that. You know, you see somebody talking to themselves on the subway. It's probably because they're rehearsing for a play that they're performing in.
That is very comforting.
Very. I'm never alarmed by people talking to themselves because I always assume it's an actor running their lines for an audition. It never occurs to me that it's something else.
Right. Well, yeah, it can be. It can be.
It can be, but usually.
But you weren't always, you know, a star with your own show like you are now. You started off paying your dues in things like commercials, like for Wendy's.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Yes, yes. Wendy's was probably my first commercial.
No kidding.
And it was actually kind of cool. It was my first time. Like, I think I joined SAG after doing that commercial. But it was like, I got to fly to Miami, and, you know, and this was so long ago that literally when I spoke to my agent about it, it was on a payphone.
Yeah, right.
I just remember that. It was on a payphone.
Did you get free burgers? Was there any perks to that deal?
I did not. But I did get to meet, and some of you may not remember, but I met Dave.
You're kidding. Dave Roberts?
Yeah. I got to meet Dave. Dave came by the set.
Wendy's dad.
Wendy's Dave came by the set.
Amazing.
And he was like so nice. He was like borderline shy, actually.
Right.
And he was like, I can't do what you do. And I was like, you're Dave. You don't have to.
That's incredible.
And I lived off, and I told him, I said, you understand, when I was in college, I literally had $3.25 daily for a double bacon cheeseburger, a large fry,
Right.
and whatever it was, two double bacon cheeseburgers and a large fry, which totaled $325.
No kidding.
In college. Yes.
That's how you budgeted
That's
it
how
out.
I budgeted my allowance in college.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, we have to take a commercial break. We're going to come back and talk about secrets and lies. We're back with Michael Ealy, star of Secrets and Lies. Now, they approached you at a certain point to do a Beyonce video. Now, I just want the people out there to know that I am available at any time to do a Beyonce.
You've done one. I see you
But
in
you-
Taxicab TV doing one.
Well, that was a fake one that we made up here, but you said no.
Yes.
You turned it down. Why? What is the matter with you?
The first time I was asked to do a Beyonce video, it was for a song called Irreplaceable. And my first instinct was, absolutely, yeah, just play the song.
Yeah.
And so they played the song, and I was like, could you play that one more time, please? And they played it one more time, and I was like, yeah, no, I can't do it. I'm not available.
Why?
Because it was a song about a woman kicking her man out of her house. And he was a jerk. It was like he was a jerk, so he deserved it. And on top of that, you know, it was like, yeah.
It's to the left, to the left.
To the
That's
left,
it.
right?
I thought that was
It's a different one.
That was like a Tinder.
Yeah.
To the left, to the left.
And the to the left part was so catchy. I was like, yeah, I don't want to be associated with that for the rest of my career. That, like, you know, I'm associated with that. I'm the to the left guy.
But wait, aren't
Yeah.
you starring in a show that's about whether you murdered your wife?
Technicality, Megyn. Technicality. You know, I think.
She's a lawyer. You know, she's a lawyer, by the way.
Yeah.
She knows.
I mean, you know, yes. But that being said, I was able to rebound, and Beyonce's people came back to me again for Halo.
Beyonce must like you a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was grateful. I was very grateful.
The only man why you want. Oh, very nice. Oh, well, look at that. What was that like?
Like that.
It's pretty good. Now, does that upset you? Married?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
does that upset your wife at all? Is that,
I wasn't married when that happened.
Okay, all right.
She was, which was great, you know what I mean? So there was, everybody was professional. And, you know, it was a great experience. It was great meeting her and
But on
her
some
mom
level,
and
you're sitting there
everything
going, oh my God, Beyonce, I'm touching her.
I'm touching Beyonce's
Right?
leg.
Right.
Yes.
I think I would be like that.
Oh my gosh.
You know what was crazy was actually in the video, like, she was like this close and singing. Like, she was lip syncing sometimes, and sometimes she would actually sing. And it was so hard to stay in character at that point because, you know, you're like, she's singing to
No.
Stop singing. Please just lip sync because it's too much. It really is. It was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
Too much goodness.
Yes, it's
I love
great.
watching you relive this in your
Oh, man.
mind.
Yeah. Happy time.
We have to take one more commercial break. We're going to come back, and Michael's going to reveal some secrets and lies when we return. Some secrets and lies, of course, with the great Terry O'Quinn. You must love working with him.
It was, we had some of my favorite scenes of the entire season were with Terry.
Yeah.
When I first found out that he was signed on to play, like, my father, I was like, wow, because I just knew that, you know, in acting, it's kind of like sports. If you want to be the best, you got to play with the best.
Right.
And with Terry, it was just like, he does things that make you, in the middle of a scene, go, oh, okay.
Right. Right.
All right, give me a second.
Yeah.
I got you. I'm coming back now. And so those kind of things would happen to me in the
Where
midst
you
of
start
being
watching
in
the
the
scene?
Where you're watching him work, and you're just like, it's flawless.
Yeah,
But in this thing, you're trying to, the audience is trying to figure out whether you're a murderer, right? And you're playing this role. Do you know as the actor whether this character is in fact guilty?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I was given the opportunity to know. So Barbie Kligman, the creator of the show, said, do you want to know the outcome? And I said, I said, give me 3 days. And I thought about it, and I said no.
Really?
So everything you see me playing in the show is completely organic and fresh, and I did not know who the killer was until the final episode.
Now you know.
So interesting.
Now I know, yeah, because we shot it.
Yeah.
We shot it already.
And what's the answer?
It was, you know.
Tell us now.
You guys want to know right now?
Yeah.
You don't want to know. Okay.
Stay out of this.
It looks like we're split down the middle.
Yeah, imagine that.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Listen, remember the show is Secrets and Lies, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. on ABC. Make sure you check out Secrets and Lies.
Next, Cam is here to perform. Don't go away.
Hey, welcome back to the Inbox. The Inbox, everybody. Annie Winter Gardner says, so happy to hear Megyn Kelly talking about bringing the country together and makeup this morning. So that's nice. We covered all of our bases.
All right, now wait, I have one for you. This is from Roger, Ontario, Canada. I don't know why you, Kelly, don't wear your glasses more often. They make you look like a sexy librarian. Your book is overdue.
Diana Hinkle from, now I can't see, Cumberland, Maryland. I found your opening comments, Megyn, very uplifting and gave me a more positive feeling for the day.
What is this thing we're doing now? Positivity? Is that what this is? I'm in news. This is very unfamiliar to me.
No, I'm sorry. This is entertainment. We are positive.
Is this happiness? Is that what I'm feeling?
Is this a feeling you're not used to?
No, this is very foreign to me.
She's not used to this feeling of happiness and joy.
Yeah. No, honestly, a couple years ago, I had a long talk with my assistant. I'm like, wait, you mean you're happy? Whatever. Okay, Greg Eversole, Hamilton, Ohio, says, you need to know that I have crop circles in my yard. It's where the aliens landed when my kids turned 13 and sucked out their brains and returned them at 25. Oh, yeah. So it's just 12-year wait. It's a 12-year wait.
I've got to wait till 25?
You're halfway there.
Oh, my gosh. Terralyn McNitt, are you kidding me, Megyn? You were awake when I went to bed at 4 a.m., and now you're on live with Kelly? What are you on, and where can I get it?
Be crashing right after this. This is my plan for the rest of the day.
I know. I was going to say, Terralyn's also awake and was also awake watching.
Good point, as was most of the country, I think. Did anybody here sleep last night?
No.
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 We can sleep when we're dead.
Listen, we'll be right back, everybody. Stick around.
If you'd like to know more about anything you see on live, visit our website, livekelly.com.
Listen, you know who's been great today? Megyn Kelly. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The past 24 hours.
Thank you.
And Megyn has a book coming out on November 15th. Did you all know this? Megyn has a book called Settle for More. And speak about a good side. They captured it on the cover.
Oh, thank you. The magic of retouching. So it comes out this Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'm going on your competitor, I guess, Dr. Phil.
Okay.
Because the book title is based on his saying the only difference between you and someone you envy is you settled for less. Oh. So settle for more is my life philosophy. It's helped me a lot.
Yeah. The motto around here is just settle.
You have enough.
Yeah. Anyway, I look forward to seeing that.
Thank you for having me here. This has been so fun.
I'm glad you came here.
You guys are great.